So this next case is about treason or sedition. I forget the terms for what means. However, this man, he too was working for the post office, and he it was 1915. Yeah, 1915, and the enemy at the time had bombed a passenger liner, which today is considered an act of war and may have been considered an act of war and a war crime during the 1915 World War One. However, this man said that he was happy about it, and he went on to defend that action. He was an Australian citizen, born here, and he then so then it was Belgian Day, which was a day that the Australians set up to raise money for the residents of Belgium, because they'd been struck the hardest through World War One. There's poems and everything written about it. It's really quite lovely, and they were selling badges, kind of like what we do on Anzac Day here. However, when a colleague asked him to buy a badge, he said no and started walking away. However, the colleague followed him and the conversation continued, where it became quite heated, and this man continued to say more things, including that he didn't think that the Australian boys should fight for Britain, and he said something to the effect of the king being a weak-kneed drunkard, or maybe that is a direct quote. He also said that, essentially he was very much against Australia being with Britain, and was very much for the enemy side winning. So he was taken before the essentially today it's the Border Force people, Homeland Security kind of thing. What do we call it? Department of Defense. It was the Department of Defense, and they had a court case for him, and they had a finding. What would you find if you were the Department of Defense that day? So the things that they used to do for these cases, especially during war times, we had internment camps during 1915. The local one to Gippsland was at Longwarry. We also still had our prisons running. We still had fines. We still had fines, good behaviour bonds, those kinds of things. What do you think happens?